So when I tell people that I'm a domestic violence counselor, one of the first questions that people ask is, why do they stay? It seems like a pretty simple question. If you know that your partner is abusive, if you get beaten up or put down or threatened frequently, what's keeping you in the relationship? Unfortunately, it's not as simple as that. Typically, it's actually very, very complicated, and usually it takes around 7 times for a survivor to try to leave a relationship before they actually leave. So there are a lot of dynamics going into it. So it's definitely not for lack of trying, but there are so many reasons why people don't leave abusive relationships. I'm only going to talk about 4 today. So the first one is fear. So it's actually incredibly dangerous for people to leave. The statistics are that immediately after leaving, a person is 75 times more likely to be murdered in those few weeks after leaving than at any other point in the relationship, which is like a really serious statistic to think about. So abusers can sense that they're losing control, and so they want to try to regain that over the survivor. So the second one is that oftentimes the survivor still loves the abuser. Just like any other relationship, the feelings don't just vanish overnight. There's hope that things might change, things might go back to the way that it was when they first started the relationship. Survivors have families with their abusers, children, bank accounts together, their whole lives are intertwined. So it can be really difficult to kind of extricate yourself from that. And also, who wants to believe that their partner will always be abusive? The third one is isolation. So a lot of times the abuse, part of the abuse is being isolated. Sometimes family and friends don't like how the abuser is treating the survivor, and so they slowly kind of drift away and stop calling. Or conversely, the abuser doesn't like the survivor's family and friends, and so they insist that that person not see them, or spend less time around them, or put them down. And so the survivor can be totally alone, and their whole world can revolve around the abuser, which makes other sorts of abuse and manipulation so much easier to enact on the survivor. And the fourth one that I'll talk about today is lack of support. So survivors are not believed as often as they need to be, and if they don't feel supported or believed, or supported in leaving, they're much less likely to leave. If they don't feel like they have the resources, do they have childcare? Are they able to find a safe place? Do they have friends who are able to carry their belongings with them? Do they have someone with a car who can transport them? Is there an advocate who can help them find resources? These are all the questions that survivors have to think about when they are thinking about leaving or staying. So it's really complicated. And so, yeah, in some, it's one of the most difficult decisions that a person can make, is the decision to stay or leave. And the stories that I hear every day, people's courage and bravery to leave, it blows me away. And so at Respond, we really try to help provide the support to survivors to believe them, and to help them along the journey.